Con from Absolute Game of Nerds. All right. Woo! What's up, buddy?
What's going
What's
on?
going on? Oh! That's going in the video for all time.
All right. Welcome to another video from Absolute Game of Nerds. This is going to be my 2024 Terrificon recap. That little intro there was actually Mike from Lunch Money Comics picking me up at the airport. He was gracious enough to pick me up and drop me off on the way back, which was awesome. So thanks and shout out to Mike for that. Other thing I want to say is check out all the guys that I'm going to link a bunch of them. So Colossus Collector, Mon Comics, Up North Comics, JP's going to have a video. Mike from Lunch is going to have videos. Colossus Collector's going to have videos. Big B McFly's got video. Mr. Akins. All these guys have videos. I'm going to link them down below so you can check them out. Just an awesome experience to meet up with everyone. Especially really cool to meet up with JP. Obviously, we've had been recording for over a year and a half, so it was a pleasure to finally meet him. And we all got along just phenomenally. I mean, it was like we've always been hanging out versus just on the online thing. So it was really cool. Such a special experience. Normally in my con recaps, I've got a lot of B-roll footage due to the length of stuff I had. Not that I had a lot of B-roll, but like the first video I shot where I was going through everything, it took a long time. And I don't know, for technical difficulties, I couldn't get that video to export. So I'm re-recording. This could be much shorter. I'm not going to do any of the B-roll. Just going to kind of run through the things that happened and the pickups. Again, shout out to Mike for picking me up. That was a huge thing and dropped me off. And then from there, kind of just met everyone one by one. The one name I didn't mention, obviously, was Dan's X-Men Comics, because he doesn't have a channel, but he should. But we just had an awesome time. The other thing, too, I tell the story about is Walt Simonson breakfast. Just worked out that on Saturday. We rolled into breakfast. There was 5 of us, me, Mike, Dan, and Bruce. 4 of us, and he was walking in at the same time, and he was by himself, and we just said, hey, if you want some company, do you want to join us? He said yes, and then off we went, and we talked about life and comics and the industry, and he told us about his kids and grandkids, talked about a lot of things. It was truly a highlight of the trip. And then on Sunday, when they had bigger group, was like, okay, it's the last day, let's all meet at 8. Kind of everyone got there. I was rolling in. Me and Dan were one of the last ones. Again, Walt was there. He was walking in right with us. I said, hey, if you want to join us again. He was like, absolutely. And off again. We went on another great breakfast with Walt Simonson. And before you say, oh, he was just obligated to say yes. And he was having the waitress take photos with us, even exchange email addresses with me to send me the photos. So I think he had a good time. Outside of that, we spent a lot of time hanging out. One of the cool things was Mike is a big fan of Treehouse Brewery. We're in his neck of the woods. He brought some beer from there, so we spent a lot of time up in the rooms just hanging out with us and, sharing those beers, which was a lot of fun. Obviously, I've told you before my previous con video, I am kind of hunting my Silver Surfer run, and then I started the sketchbook. So in my pickups, I'm going to show you I completed the Silver Surfer run, and then I'm going to show you the sketches I got for the book, which are awesome. But first off, I got a couple gifts. So Mike from Lunch Money got everyone a copy of this New Avengers 7, right? First appearance of the Illuminati, right? Because we call ourselves the Illuminati. Yes, feel free to laugh at that if you want. But then he also got me this Blue Beetle book. Why this Blue Beetle book is because inside is one of the printed letters from George R. Martin from when he was a teenager, or I don't remember the exact age. But there's also a Fantastic Four book where he did the same thing. So this is one of the other ones where he's got a published letter. Pretty cool. And then with that, Mike also got me this really cool Silver Surfer shot glass, right, with the image from Silver Surfer 4. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, Dan, I told him before that my wife and I, when we go on trips, we pick up a Christmas ornament to kind of memorialize each trip. And then with that, he took and made a Spider-Man ornament. So how cool is that? So very thoughtful. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Mike, for the gifts. Comic books, we'll start with the comic book pickup. So as I mentioned, I completed my Surfer run. Again, the goal here was these books, again, outside of the big keys, 1, 3, and 4. Kind of in the $30 range is what I was looking for, and I was able to kind of achieve that. I needed 5 and 6, and sure enough, I finished. So I got 5 here and 6. I ideally wouldn't have gotten this because of the marker right here, these 2 marks. But the other copies of 6 at the con were over $100, and I'm not doing that for this kind of run filler thing. So I'll do a more thorough video on the Surfer run, completing that. So stay tuned for that. The other book I got, again, I think, a lot of you know that I wanted to look at some Jim 83s, was most likely one, or maybe some TOS 39s. Nothing there that was within my range, so none of that happened. So I did want to buy, one cool book outside of the Surfer run, but I didn't want to spend a ton on it, and so I was able to get X-Men 129. First appearance of Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost. My second time owning this book. And it was one of the ones I'm like, I really like that book. So glad to get a nice clean copy back for the collection. I'm talking really fast here because I feel like going through this sketchbook is going to take me some time to show you what I got. So I'll kind of go through the artists and show you each piece. So first one, right when I walked in, Eric Larson was sitting there. He wasn't doing too much. He was just basically doing some remarks. So he did a little Savage Dragon remark for me. I know it doesn't fill up the page. So I think what I'll do is, I also was thinking about it. I want to get, writers and things like that. Anyone that I can get autos for us, and other, that may only be doing remarks, just kind of do it on these pages, so that I can fill these up as well. But otherwise, a lot of the artists filled up my page, and I will go through those now. So first off, the first one I got, check out that Killer Doctor Doom by Walt Simonson. I mean, that is awesome. So sick. All of these I will be posting individually so you can get better looks at them if you like. Next up, Joe Rubinstein. I mean, one of my favorite of the weekend. This Thanos just absolutely destroyed it. Just killer. From there, we got Al Milgrom. Right, he is the creator of Black Cat. How awesome is that? Yeah, really cool. Next up, I went to Adam Hughes, and I did a Mohawk Storm, which I really liked by him. Next, I went to David Mack, and he was only doing some remarks or, some much more expensive watercolor. So I just did a quick remark from him and got this nice little Daredevil by him in his style. It looks kind of plain, but I think, that's his style. When he adds the watercolors is really where you get the depth. So that was cool, though. Happy to add that to the collection there in the sketchbook. Mike Choi, I ended up talking to. He was like, I can do something simple for you real quick. So he did this X-23. Granted, you really can't tell it's an X-23, but that is the headshot of her. So Joe Prado is an inker that I met there, and I just saw his work. I was like, oh, I want to get something by him. I happened to be, when I looked him up to see who he was, I happened to be with Ryan Colossus Collector, and then on the picture that came up was Prado and one of his Colossuses, and it looked just sick. So I thought it was a sign, and so I went through with it and got a nice Colossus. Similarly, when I wanted, Bob McLeod was there, and I was trying to think of a mutant character that he did. Again, I was there with Mike from Lunch Money. His favorite character is Nightcrawler, so I was like, oh, that'd be a cool one to get from Bob. And this is my favorite sketch of the weekend, this Nightcrawler by Bob McLeod. Just awesome. Right, and then from there, finished out that day with Bob Hall, who was sitting there, and he did a nice Riddler for me. So got to get more DC in here, but started off with the Riddler. Was really happy with that. And then I didn't know him at the time, but Mike was talking about Dave Wenzel, who did the Lord of the Rings comics, and he was doing just pencil sketches, super cheap. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I like, and he killed it on this Gandalf. I mean, awesome. So yeah, that's kind of going through the pickups. I know this was a quick video. Again, my explanation is I had to make this video on my phone, and it got too big on my first take, and I couldn't export it. Again, I wasn't spending a lot of time, so I'll try and tell a lot more of the stories as I post these individual pieces. So stay tuned for that, but I wanted to kind of give a video to kind of recap everything I picked up. And we'll say, as cool as all the stuff I showed is, nothing is more important and more meaningful than the memories I made with all those guys. Again, I will link down in the video. Those guys are all making videos of the con. Can't wait to do it again. Just an unbelievable experience. But yeah, that's what I got for my end. Shoot me over any questions if you had anything, and I can explain anything a little bit more. Again, I wanted to keep this video kind of nice and short. But yeah, otherwise, I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace out.